You know, and then there's, you know, like you said, there's all this racism going on, right? He's stroking that fire, white devil, and all that. I don't even want to comment on that. What I will comment on with him is, you know, what he says and what he does is, in actuality, really not what he says is believe, but what he does, you have to believe. You have to believe because he did what he did. So if he says he's a man of God, but he's evil as fuck, right? He shows you how evil he is, then you have to believe what he did, not what he said, right? And so that's how you have to go through life, is not by the actions of a person, right? And so, you know, that's what everybody says, and that's the thing. That's what I was talking to you about, the news. Like, what news do you subscribe to or listen to? Well, those are just words and hyping, but you don't actually know that person behind those words. What do they do at night? What do they really believe behind closed doors, right? What are they really doing? So, and that's why, you know, things like this is suspect. But with him, it's very easy to understand because he did what he did, right? Yeah. He physically did all this bad stuff, and you know,
he knew what he was doing.
That he was taking money.
Right.
You know, he was hiding money from people. He was not reporting money. So you actually physically were there, and you actually know what he did.
Right.
So that's your proof, right? You actually have physical proof.
Right. There were other members that also exposed that he had a van at that location where he supposedly had an entertainment company with income. I guess he was money laundering. You know, he would get the money from the tithes, and at this, it was it was a real elaborate scheme, and the way it unraveled, I said, you know what, I have to document this as a person that was a part of this back in 2010, you know, and I started I remember when the doll story came out.
You were involved with them when we were doing this a couple of years before, right?
I guess it was, yeah. Your story impacted me very, like, it was a heavy thing for me, because I said, what, dolls? You know, that doesn't make sense. That didn't make sense to me.
It's not the dolls. It was the business. It was getting someone to take an order. And then as soon as you take that order, as a legitimate business like mine, we're working to fulfill that order, not knowing on the other side of our delivery is someone as evil as fuck,
right?
Who had no intentions of, you know, giving us the rest of the money to make the order, or thanking us, or saying this is awesome, let's go on to the next job, let's make money together, like real business people do. They were just so happy that they got the delivery, and then they could say, your white T-shirts aren't white enough, right?
Right.
Because that's what they said.
Right.
And that was the whole lawsuit, was based on a lie. And what's great is the judge saw right through this piece.
That's what I was gonna say. That judge was on point. That's good. I like that.
Well, I mean, that's why some judges are good judges.
Yeah.
And he immediately stopped him in his tracks and said, you know, you don't have any experience. You never sold an action figure. And what probably caught the judge's attention was he probably was shocked that he would actually think that someone would buy an action figure for $130, right?
Right.
So it just seems like a lot of money to regulars.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think he was out for money, to be truthful. I don't think he wasn't trying. I mean, he was going to use the racism because he said we made the action figures lighter than his black skin. So
right.
You can see where that's going.
Yeah. But it blew up in his face.
Maybe if they did it now, right?
Oh yeah. Now it's out of control. Now, forget it. the assumption of racism. They put the victim's race in the headline now when it's a black man only. I see all of that. That's why, when you're asking me what do I listen to,
even white people who commit a crime,
right?
Right away, the white guy, when it's somebody else, it takes a couple of days,
right?
And then they put that up. It depends on what part of the country you're in, though.
That's
so if
true.
you travel a lot and you read other newspapers, or other blogs or other online, news.
Like independent news is okay.
They're different.
Yeah.
Right? They're different. Everyone's different. That's what I was saying earlier about, everyone has their own agenda for writing a story, and you can actually figure out their agenda. If 4 people wrote about the same story, and you read it from all 4 people, you could probably figure out where every single person, what their angle is, based on the same story, based on how they wrote that story. Right. So, I appreciate you doing what you're doing. I hope you uncover these guys more.
Right.
I hope to God you save your cousin, because she's not in a good place that anybody should be in.
I appreciate everything you did.
Keep in touch.
Yeah. I definitely want to keep in touch, because did you say that the judge, just real quick, because I thought you said that the judge was aware of other cases where he tried to do that, or was that his first time doing that?
I don't, so I can't speak to, I really didn't have too much contact with the whole situation, because I knew he was a scumbag. He wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
So it didn't concern me too much.
Oh, okay.
It didn't concern me too much. But from what I heard through third parties, I'm not going to tell you who they are.
Right.
But that this was going to be the next level of how they would wash that money, right?
Right.
So the washing is they place an order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's actually brilliant. I mean, I don't know who came up with this scam, but it's actually very smart. So I'll explain it one more time.
Right.
So he's actually not even washing his money. He's taking someone else's money that's already washed because it's in a legitimate business. So that's really actually brilliant, right?
Right.
So in his way, with his little music group, he's taking his dirty money, putting it back into his own company, which is dirty, and then trying to get the dirty money out of the dirty new company, and in his head thinking it's clean when it's not. Right. Because they just follow that money. And they say, you own this, you own this, you own this, it's all dirty. Wow. But when you sue a company, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say in my case, $250,000, let's say he won and I had to give him the check for $250,000, which I don't have, which is even more funny. So you would give him $250,000. There's no way to figure out that money is clean. Hmm. That money was never made through a check given for a band from one same company to another same company. So it's actually pretty friggin' smart, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's pretty elaborate. That's why it was, when you first explained it, it took a minute for me to understand it, but I completely get it. I get it. Yeah. Wow.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
It's very, very smart.
Yeah.
Then once that money comes into his bank, that money is clean. Right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But it's from a lawsuit. It's not so clean. So, I think what he confused was that, he was probably being looked at for many, many years, right? That's why, criminals are very stupid. They think they're getting away with a crime when actually they're not. It's just that no one's looking at you. And then when you keep screwing up over and over and over again, then they start looking at you. And then they go to work. And then when they go to work, you're never going to win, right?
Right.
You're never gonna beat the house. And I think that's what happened. He was already being looked at, and people were calling. He did some stuff to other folks too. So I think there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on in the background that maybe you didn't know about.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of things started coming out later on, but I think that guilty plea, since he pled guilty, that you can't now. Nothing comes out now in court. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's not. Listen. Besides calling him a scumbag, which makes me so happy because he is such a fucking scumbag. but in actuality, he's actually a pretty smart guy, or at least whoever was teaching him the scam. Me and you, especially me. Let's talk about me because we kind of are. I just do business one way. I build. People pay me to do that, right?
Right.
So when a scam artist shows up, even though I'm from the streets, I don't play in the streets anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't see the scam that they're bringing forward, right?
Right.
Because it's not something I do. I don't do that, and I expect when people come to my company, they're righteous. They want something, they're going to pay for it, I'm going to build that, and they're going to give me money. That's my transaction. So, he's pretty smart because you don't know where he's coming from.
Right.
So I don't know where he was coming from. He's not the first religious guy who had action figures made of himself in our career. There were many, many, many religious folk who got action figures to earn money. So it's not abnormal. This isn't an abnormal request. This is a normal request.
Right.
But who knew he was a scumbag, right?
Yeah, you're not going to think anything of it. Yeah, I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
This is what you do for a living. Why would you think anything of it? So he was actually very smart. The whole scam was very smart.
Yeah.
How he tried to scam us was very smart. How he tried to scam the legal system was very smart. He wasn't stupid. That's for sure. So give him that. Yeah, it's a shame that stuff like this actually goes on, right?
Yeah.
It's man, it's just horrible. I kind of it's just not cool, man. It's just not cool. The whole process isn't cool. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you got yourself out. I have to get going.
Yes.
Because I actually have 1,000 emails that just came in.
Oh, good.
So
good for
I gotta
you.
handle this. Listen,
Yeah.
I wish you I would great success with your cousin. You gotta get her the frig out of there, man.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying, man. But thank you for your time. Go ahead and do what you gotta do, man. Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care.
I appreciate it. Take care. And listen, try to be safe.